What's going on, everyone? I'm Phantom, and this is a Predecessor Hero Guide. Today's guide will cover the game's newest assassin, Countess. I will outline every ability, show you common combos, and explain her playstyle. If you want to jump to any particular part of the video, check the description for timestamps. If you want to see more guides in the future, be sure to subscribe. Without further ado, I hope this helps. Countess the Vampiric Matriarch is a bloodthirsty assassin who can scare any mid or offlaner into hiding under their tower. A powerful Countess can burst down her enemies and get out before they even know what hit them. She's a great hero for anyone who likes fast-paced gameplay and high-risk, high-reward engagements. Countess's passive ability is called Blood Tithe. For each takedown, Countess gains a stack that grants her 2% magical lifesteal, stacking up to 10 times. This means that at a total of 10 combined kills and assists, she'll have 20% magical lifesteal, which helps her heal significantly from her abilities. As a glass cannon, this is the only reason Countess can stay alive for more than 2 seconds, so try to build up stacks as fast as possible. Countess's basic attack is called Slice. This is a simple melee strike that deals physical damage. This isn't the most significant part of her kit, but it's still important for her overall DPS and long-term playability, as she will burst through a lot of mana with her other abilities. Countess's right mouse button is Blade Siphon. Countess spins and strikes all enemy targets around her, dealing magical damage and healing herself per target hit. Against enemy heroes, the healing increases by 400%. This is a fantastic sustain ability to help stay alive through the heavy poke of the early game. This won't be the first ability you unlock or max out, but it should be the second. This works great to deal AoE damage to waves of minions or multiple closely grouped enemy heroes. If the enemies are playing many melee heroes, this will provide very significant healing when you hit multiple at a time, so save this ability as the last ability in your combo wherever possible. Countess's Q is called Shadow Slip. Blink to a nearby enemy target, dealing magical damage and slowing them by 40% for 1.25 seconds. Minions and non-epic monsters receive 3 times damage. Countess leaves behind a shadow at her original position. Re-triggering the ability within 4 seconds will return Countess to the shadow's location. This is Countess's primary poke ability, as it allows her to get in, burst her enemies with her cooldowns, and then retreat to her shadow's position of safety. So long as you don't get stunned or silenced, you can almost always ensure a safe getaway, so don't be afraid to use this every chance you get. Just watch out for the enemy stun cooldowns. Sorry to interrupt, this is the past future me coming to tell you about a feature that I learned after recording this video. So this is me during editing. The Q, the Shadow Slip ability, it does not retain directional momentum. So you see, if I jump off here and use it, and then use it again, it will not keep my jumping momentum downwards. It'll just place me down right there. Same thing goes for my momentum on the other side. So if I do this one standing still, and then I come over here and run and jump, it will just have me back staying still. Does not retain momentum. Another important thing to note, when you use your Q, you every time you teleport with it, your crosshair resets on the vertical plane. So you'll see if I do this, and I stare at the ground and reactivate, I'll be back looking very level. That being said, your horizontal position will be retained. So if I look that way, use it, I'm still looking that way. Countess's E is Eventide. Send out a cloud of darkness that deals magical damage to all enemy targets in its path. This will be your highest damaging, non-ultimate ability, so really make sure it will hit your targets. The cooldown of this ability can feel quite long, especially in the early game, so be sure to use it wisely. This will also be your primary wave clearing ability, so feel free to use it in the first couple waves, and then you can focus on actually engaging and dealing high bursts of damage to your enemy laner. Finally, Countess's ultimate ability is Feast. Leap to a nearby enemy hero, forcing them to face Countess and suppressing them for 0.75 seconds. After the duration, Countess deals magical damage, scaling off the target's maximum health, and heals herself for 50% of the damage dealt. This ultimate is not only great for finishing off low health targets, but it's also fantastic for sustaining Countess through an otherwise losing fight. Do keep in mind that during the casting time of this ability, it can be cancelled if Countess is afflicted by a stun or silence. The suppression part of this ability can also cancel channeling abilities such as Gideon ult, or even another Countess ult so long as you aren't her target. Countess's strength comes from her fantastic hit and run power, accentuated by the following combo. First, use Shadow Slip to engage on your enemy, then Blade Siphon, then Eventide, then reactivate your Shadow Slip to go back to your original, hopefully still safe position. Depending on your target and how strong you are, you may be able to get in a few auto attacks before teleporting back to safety, but do be sure that they won't be able to stun or silence you in this process. When catching up to a low health target, you can catch up with them with your Shadow Slip, then use your ultimate to finish them off before retreating to safety. An alternative combo for if you just need to heal or buy yourself some time, you can Shadow Slip onto an enemy hero who has a high maximum health pool, such as Sevarog, then use your ultimate to heal for 50% of the damage you deal, which, if you may remember, scales based off the enemy's maximum health. Then use your Blade Siphon before reactivating your Shadow Slip. This combo can grant a ton of health, especially if you have a few stacks of your passive. Just be careful not to overstay your welcome. It's important to use your ultimate before your Blade Siphon because your ultimate will suppress your target, preventing them from throwing a stun or silence ability. Whereas if you start with Blade Siphon, it gives them plenty of time to hit you with a stun and cancel the activation of your ultimate. As previously mentioned, Countess is a hit and run hero. Get in, use your abilities, and get out while you wait for your cooldowns. You are very vulnerable without your abilities available, so you don't want to overstay your welcome. This is also one of the main reasons I recommend choosing the Magician's Crest at the beginning of the match and building it into an Epoch. The stasis on Epoch can often provide you with just enough time to get your abilities off cooldown, allowing you to then lifesteal from your enemies and quite possibly survive an otherwise losing battle. For itemization on Countess, focus on magical damage, mana, and ability haste. Azure Core is a great item to lock in early as it provides great scaling mana boost. Otherwise, Wraith Leggings, Astral Catalyst, and Megacosm are all great items for Countess. Of course, there are tons of situational items to choose from, so use your own discretion or look into the game's recommended items for help. I hope this guide has been helpful. If you want to see guides for any other characters, let me know down in the comment section. I want to make a lot more Predecessor content, so if there is any other type of video you'd like to see, leave it down there too. I'm considering making a mid-laner generic item guide to explain all of the different situational items in detail, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see me make that video. Without further ado, I hope this guide has been helpful. Have a lovely rest of your day, evening, morning, afternoon, and night. Bye-bye.